bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
All right. Welcome, Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. I'm mesmerized with my dancers. You guys are so good. It's hard. It's hard to pick a winner. It's hard, man. Kind of digging Karen McIntyre's Moonwalker. You guys are good. Today's Thursday, December 1st. 336 days into the new year. Just 30 days left, everybody. December 1st. I'd like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. It's Thursday. What is cracking, everybody? Tonight's another Fader night. It's Thursday night, officially a Thursday. We got Jon Rappoport coming up and his No More Fake Newsroom live. And then it's open lines all night long. The call-in number is 323-825-5045. It's going to be a busy night. Love it. Love it. In the chair on a Thursday. Nothing is better. I got to tell you, Southern California now is starting to feel like Christmas. And, I blew it. I had a Christmas song all lined up. Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to do it on the break. No, I can't do it on the break. I got Rappoport. I'll do it at the top of the hour. Ah, dang it. Dang it. My favorite Christmas song. Second favorite Christmas song. Or no, third. No, it's my fourth favorite Christmas song. And, let's light that up in Twitter. What's your favorite Christmas song? One of the things that irritates me, let's light it up and play the video. I'm going to see if, are you going to plan your show on air? No, my show is planned, Rita. It's planned, but it's Fader night. But, I blew the Christmas song. What's your favorite Christmas song? Post it. And let's see if somebody hits mine, or at least the one that I was going to do tonight. All right? I'm going to be interested in seeing that. I had it all lined up. I just spaced it. And that's what happens when I drink this amazing coffee, and I'm not kidding about that. I was doing this and watching the dancing GIFs. All right. Danny Sheehan posted a video. He is live up at the Dakota Pipeline protest. And the video went around today, and I watched it. It was a live feed that was presented as only Danny can. And he's up there, and he's been representing them for a while. And so now he is actually on site. Rita, will you please post the video in Twitter? He has requested in this video over at his website, which is everything is in the video. You can watch it after the show. A petition that he would like everybody to go take a look at. And if you are so inclined to sign it, okay? So we'll get that up there. I'm looking over. Rita's probably getting it going now, and I'll retweet it in Twitter. All right? So, Danny, be safe up there. It's cold. And he had a large audience, man. I can tell you that. When he did the live feed, there was a lot of people in the room, a lot of hooping and hollering, and I'm glad he's up there. Okay? So we'll get that going in Twitter right now. Follow us on Twitter, by the way, at JChurchRadio. It's Thursday night. I do the same thing every Thursday. It seems that this is an interactive show. On Thursday nights especially, you want to come and hang out with us on Twitter. Okay, use the hashtag F2B. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. Any questions for myself during the show tonight that you just feel like you need to ask me and get an answer, use hashtag F2BQ. Okay? Charlie Brown Christmas. Yeah, Christmas time is here. Can't deny that. Walking around in women's underwear. That's from John Porter. One of my favorites, Beach Boys, Little Saint Nick. No question about that. Brian just posted his, but he didn't. My favorite Christmas song. Are you saying the Christmas song? Mel Torme, Nat King Cole. Is that what you're saying there? Little Drummer Boy with Bowie and Crosby. That's from Mark. And, absolutely. Great video, too. Running My Trains Under the Christmas Tree. That's from Kay. White Christmas from Tammy. Bruce says Springsteen, Santa Claus is coming to town. That's a good version of that. All of these are good, actually. Little Drummer Boy from Nurse Nancy. And let's see here. So anyway, Sleigh Ride. That's a good one. That's a good one. The Grinch. Is there a Grinch Christmas? Oh, yes, there is. A Grinch. Of course there is. Red Christmas ICP. Is that Red Christmas ICP? Is that a beer? What is that's IPA. All right, let's go. Let's get the show cracking. And I like the peanuts here too as well. Jingle Bell Rock. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. You guys are good. First Noel by Celtic Women. Okay, that could be good. Haven't heard it. Canada is Polite. I don't get that one. Okay, O Tannenbaum. O Tannenbaum by Rob Halford. Have you guys heard that? That's pretty cool. That wasn't the song I was going to play, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, let's go. Let's get all of our sponsors out of the way. Life Change Tea. The banners are up over at jimmychurchradio.com. Just go, click. It'll take you straight to getthetea.com. Use the promo code Jimmy, either over the phone or online. You're going to get free shipping. River Moon Coffee. I'm drinking it right now. I'm drinking a mocha. Rita was shocked when she saw how much chocolate I put in this mocha, but I just needed that sugar fix, especially after reading what Nestle is doing to your chocolate very soon. They say that they've defeated sugar, that they've created, that they have. I don't have a video for you. The link to the petition is posted on Twitter. Okay. Okay, Rita, dig up the video that we watched today. There's got to be a way to do that. Okay, anyway, she has done the lakotalaw.org where the petition is. I have done that. The video is a good one. I'll find it. Okay? Rita says stop reading this on the air. That just means I'm going to read all of them, Rita. Come on, don't tell me to stop. Otherwise, I would have stopped. River Moon Coffee. Just go to the banner right now. Fade to Black Blend. F2B Blend. 15% off of your order. It is truly the best bean in the world. There's no question about it. We have gotten hundreds of testimonials from all of you about it, and that just backs me up. It is really the best. Studio Dome. Yes, we announced the headphones yesterday. We are working on promotions and stuff for those headphones moving through Christmas. So we'll have that ready to go for the Monday show. In the meantime, the Studio Dome Fader Night special is running in time for Christmas. 2 SBB2 speakers, stereo, true wireless stereo, Bluetooth stereo system, promo code JCRTWS. Also, our newest sponsor to the show is Zipa, ZYPPA. Get your Zipa today. Stop snoring tomorrow. Just go to Zipa.com. That's ZYPPAH.com. Let's get the show cracking. Today, happy birthday to Sarah Silverman, 46 years old. What happened to Sarah? It's not Christmas time till I hear Santa Claus and His Old Lady by Cheech and Chong. That's good. That's good. That's from Cortana. I agree. Happy birthday to Sarah Silver. What happened to Sarah Silver? She was the bomb there for a minute. Kind of disappeared. Today, guitarist Brad Delson of Linkin Park is 39. Our dead guy's birthday today is Richard Pryor. 1940 to 2005, died at the age of 65. Won an Emmy Award, yes. 5 Grammys. He won 5 Grammy Awards. In 1974, he also won 2 American Academy of Humor Awards, the Writers Guild of America Award, the first ever Kennedy Center Mark Twain Prize for American Humor Award. The very first one was presented to him in 1998. He was listed as number 1 on Comedy Central's list of all-time greatest stand-up comedians, numero uno. His movies, man, so many, but, off the top of my head, I got Silver Streak, Car Wash, Bingo Long, Traveling All-Stars, and The Motor Kings. Remember that? It was a good movie. Saw that in the theater. Which Way Is Up, Greased Lightning, Blue Collar. Remember the Muppet movie? It's great in that. Stir Crazy, Bustin' Loose, The Toy, Jackie Gleason. That was great. Brewster's Millions. Or was Brewster's Millions with Jackie Gleason? No, it was The Toy, which I can't even remember now. See No Evil, Hear No Evil. But what most people don't know is that Richard Pryor co-wrote Blazing Saddles, and he was supposed to star in the movie. Couldn't get insured. I'm not joking about this. So they brought in Cleavon Little. I'm glad they brought in Cleavon, but Pryor would have been pretty good in that role too. But he co-wrote the movie with Mel Brooks. On this day in history, 1959, Antarctica was made a military-free continent. 12 nations, including the United States and the Soviet Union, signed the Antarctica Treaty, which bans military activity and weapons testing on that continent on this day in 1959. Fader fact. Are you ready? Harlem Nights. Yeah, that was a good movie. I'm with you. I couldn't list them all, man. He did like 5,000. Couldn't list them all. Couldn't remember them all, actually. Fader fact. A zeptosecond, a trillionth of a billionth of a second, is the smallest division of time that has been observed. A zeptosecond. And that is a fader fact. Use that in a sentence tomorrow. No, somebody use that in a sentence in Twitter or maybe over in one of the chat rooms. Let's see who can do it first. Let's open up all the chat rooms here. Okay. Who can use zeptosecond in a sentence? All right. Okay, let's get this cracking. I got something I got to share with you guys. All right. And it's going to take a minute, so get comfortable. And you're going to want to take notes. North America is Memphis. Tune overblown. Okay. All right. Pryor was the guy I told J Church Radio I wanted to meet as a ghost at a Halloween party. That's from Eric. The FBI. Okay, take out a pad of paper, take out a pen, a pencil, open up Notepad on your computer, and take notes. Okay? The FBI is reading your emails and text messages. And you can't do or stop them from doing it. It started today. And you probably have not heard the news. And this is something that they don't want in any headlines. But I'm giving it to you now. the FBI and other law enforcement agencies can now, as of today, search millions of Americans' computers or smartphones, anything, at once with a single warrant under a new rule that took effect today. The expanded surveillance power is real, and it's a dangerous search tool. It's in use right now. And, kills me to have to share this with you, but my friends, here's what you need to know about the new policy known as Rule 41. That's where you started. Write that down. Rule 41 has to do with search and seizure, but it has been modified. What is Rule 41? Well, the modifications now, under the new cyber investigation policy, the government may obtain a single warrant from a judge to access multiple computers in various states across the country. Federal agents must make reasonable efforts to inform law-abiding Americans that their devices have been hacked. And that's the key part here. They have to inform you or make a reasonable effort to do so. But they don't have to. And let me explain. Under Rule 41, the policy was approved by the Supreme Court earlier this year. It was never debated during a single congressional hearing. You had nothing to do with the decision. The public was not informed, and it was not discussed publicly at all. Now, what changed in Rule 41? Well, now, previously, FBI officials were limited to obtaining a warrant from a judge in each district a computer or smartphone was located in. Suspects often hide the location of their computers to keep law enforcement officials from applying for a warrant. But now, what makes this so rowdy, so controversial? I predict that the FBI will now have expanded surveillance powers that potentially violate the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. All officials have to do now to carry out their search is obtain a warrant from a single judge, which they can more easily do by simply seeking a warrant in a district where a judge is likely to support their cause. It's that simple. Now, Democratic lawmakers sought yesterday to block the change in a Republican-controlled Senate, but a vote to delay the change until Congress had more time to study it failed. I call on Congress right now to overturn the policy. I am now speaking in public. Does Barack Obama support this change? He's a Democrat. Right? They tried to stop it yesterday, but unfortunately, he supports it. His Justice Department advocated for it. And a statement today from the Justice Department read, the amendments, I'm quoting directly from the statement, the amendments do not change any of the traditional protections and procedures under the Fourth Amendment, such as the requirement that the government establish probable cause. Rather, the amendments would merely ensure that at least one court is available to consider whether a particular warrant application comports with the Fourth Amendment, end quote. How can anybody be comfortable with this? Today's changes allow judges to issue warrants for federal agencies to remotely access, search, seize, and copy digital information that's been concealed via anonymizing software like Tor or VPN. The changes also allow judges to grant warrants for the search, seizure, and copying of information on any connected device that's attacked in a hacking campaign. Now, listen to what I am saying here. The new rule lets law enforcement search any computer, anywhere, anytime, upstream, downstream, which means you. What's key here is somebody hacks the system. There's a criminal involved somewhere. Maybe it's a drug guy. Maybe it's somebody writing virus software, malware software, some denial of service attack, right? And your computer, of which there could be millions that were affected by it, can now be searched completely without a warrant. And this is not a joke. This is not fear-mongering. Officially, the amendment reads as follows, and if this doesn't scare the crap out of you, nothing will. Quoting, this is it. This is the official amendment. A magistrate judge with the authority in any district where activities related to a crime may have occurred has authority to issue a warrant to remote access, to search electronic storage media, and to seize or copy electronically stored information located within or outside that district if A, the district where the media or information is located has been concealed through technological means, or B, in an investigation of a violation of 18 U.S.C. 1030A-5, the media are protected computers that have been damaged without authorization and are located in 5 or more districts. In other words, you. Yes, a senior U.S. District Court judge ruled the FBI did not need a warrant at all to infiltrate a stateside computer. Any computer, saying, and I'm quoting here from the judge, and this is his ruling, generally, one has no reasonable expectation of privacy in an IP address when using the internet. End quote. The new Rule 41 addresses this issue head on. Now, a magistrate judge does indeed have the authority to issue a warrant allowing federal agents to search and seize any number of computers within or outside of that judge's district. Remember the attack that shut down the internet service across the country back in late October? You remember that? Everything went down. Hackers took advantage of weak security protocols. You remember all of that, and connected home devices like security cameras. You remember that? Your webcams, DVRs, routers, to hit a large domain name server, right? You remember that, with the distributed denial of service attack that took down Twitter, Spotify, Reddit, the New York Times, other major websites. You remember that, right? Well, in that case, the new rules would let a judge issue a warrant allowing federal agents to search, seize, and copy all of the information on all of those hacked devices. Millions of computers. Yes, the victims of the hack are now open to digital and search and seizure without a warrant. Think about it. Government access to the computers of botnet victims also raises serious privacy concerns, as a wide range of all of your sensitive, unrelated personal data will be accessed during an investigation, and there's nothing you can do about it. Not a single thing. This, to me, is a dangerous, dangerous expansion of powers. This is very serious, and not something to be granted without any public debate on the topic. I cannot believe it. Now, if you don't think you have private stuff on your computer, and I know that you do, we all do, right? Private stuff, and it could be anything. Anything. It doesn't matter. And I'm not talking about crazy things. I'm just talking about your things. And if anything goes down for any reason whatsoever around you, some guy that you have never met, whatever, states away, and busted in a drug cartel, whatever, some kind of IRS Bitcoin thing. It could be anything. And for some reason, you are in that digital chain of millions of... he could have sent you, unbeknownst to you, right? Malware in an email that you get, and you open it up and it affects your computer. That is as simple as that. Somebody you've never met, and a total accident. Somebody you just in an email chain that goes to an email chain that goes through an email chain. And the next thing you know, your door gets kicked down and they seize your computers, and you don't have anything to do about it at that moment. This is not a joke. Rule 41. I will raise this and voice this in public. They did not give us a chance. Well, I will, and I just did. You, my friends, are welcome. This is Fade to Black. It's Thursday night. It is Fader night. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. We've got Jon Rappoport coming up after the break with his No More Fake Newsroom live. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, the planet. I'll be right back.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website, GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Hi, this is Chase Klutsky with Fate Magazine Radio, and you're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station where the Fadernauts rock.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Manson. You're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake newsroom in deep space, which is the space that we suspect to be true, that the world as it is fed to us every day by the Ministry of Truth is a lie, a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. All the screens crash. They all go down and we see the light of day. A new day. No more robots, no more androids. It's the No More Fake newsroom with Jon Rappoport. Take it away, John. John, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, don't do that to me. Don't ever do that to me. Take it away.
Thank you. Okay, folks, just a little tiny glitch there for a moment. I'm not going to burden you tonight with any more election news per se, but I am going to comment on this wonderful new phenomenon called fake news. It's everywhere, apparently. And so I was very amused when all of this began splashing across major media and so on in the wake of the election, because in 2001, I started my website, nomorefaknews.com. Of course, I was talking about major media and have been ever since, and their fake news. But something is just breaking as we speak here, and I've written down some notes on it. The House of Representatives has just passed an intelligence agency authorization bill, money for this, money for that. They passed it 390 votes to 30. And there is a section in this bill. This is just unbelievable. To set up a new interagency panel to stop Russia's efforts to, quote, exert covert influence over peoples and governments. And I'll quote you further from the bill. This panel, interagency, is tasked with, quote, and get all this language here, countering active measures by Russia to exert covert influence, including exposing falsehoods, agents of influence, corruptions, human rights abuses, terrorism, and assassinations carried out by security services or political elites of the Russian Federation or their proxies. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm going to take that piece apart in a minute here, but just for a little background. Major media have been told, and they've been parodying this, told by the government for months now, that Russia influenced the election by hacking into the Democratic National Committee emails, which then apparently they passed over to WikiLeaks, who released them, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of these emails, which had very destructive information in them vis-a-vis the Democrats and Hillary Clinton and so on and so forth. But this has all been a Russian operation, according to the U.S. intelligence community. However, we, the people, have been given no evidence or proof that this is the case whatsoever. And in fact, surrounding the passage of this bill that was just passed by the House, several congressmen have said that they want the intelligence agencies to declassify their information and to therefore show us that really it was Russia that hacked all these emails and released them. So we have doubters even in the Congress that this really happened at all, that it was Russia to begin with rather than somebody else, somebody inside the Democratic Party or inside the government or a lone hacker or who knows who or whatever. In other words, we have seen zero evidence of this happening. Step two has been for major media, all sorts of major media, to now claim that there are, quote, fake news sites everywhere on the internet. And they're not talking about, you know, overtly fake news sites that are set up to run insane stories that never could have happened just to get clicks. No, they're talking about major independent news sites that have stories and research different from major media. That's what they're talking about. And they're calling all of these fake. Fake news. Don't pay attention. Don't go there. Don't listen. Don't read, etc., etc. And various lists, proposed lists of these fake news sites have been scurrying around the web. And I'm sure you've run into some of this if you're active on the web. So the attack now by major media is against, quote, fake news. Why? Well, obviously, because in the wake of the election, major media were left with tons of egg on their faces because they were citing surveys and polls and estimates and experts and so on and so forth that were quite sure that Hillary Clinton was going to win the election. So they were caught with egg on face, pants down around ankles, and much embarrassment, shame, and so forth. And so to deflect blame, they now have gone on the attack against, quote, fake news sites, instead of saying, well, it looks like we're the fakes. No, they're not going to say that. They are definitely not going to say that. So this is what we're seeing now. And this has risen to such a crescendo that the House just passed this intelligence bill, which had this section in it about setting up an interagency panel to counter active measures by Russia to exert covert influence, including exposing falsehoods, agents of influence. This is where what I'm talking about comes in. Falsehoods, agents of influence, as if, you see, as if these so-called fake news sites are all really proxies for the Russian government. And you could include any number of sites with which you're familiar, independent alternative news sites, as being accused of being cutouts for the Russian security services now, you see. Falsehoods, agents of influence, corruption. Yes, well, these fake news sites are incredibly corrupt because they're really taking their orders directly from Moscow. And they're spreading fake news stories to undermine the government or undermine the Democratic Party or undermine the sanctity of the election process, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This could get to the point, for example, where let's say you have some favorite websites that handle and cover UFO news. Oh, why not? Those websites could be accused of being direct proxies for the Russian government, spreading disinformation in order to distract people from what's really going on in the world, etc., and filling them with false conspiracy theories or false information. It could definitely happen. Take any story, any story outside of the mainstream with which you are familiar, that you have an interest in. Let's say forbidden archaeology, a phrase that's been moved around for many years now. In other words, that the history of the planet through archaeology has been grossly altered to obscure actual civilizations that no one really knows in the conventional world existed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, that could be called fake news too, and that could be called a proxy of the Russian government to spread disinformation, to confuse people, to take them out of the mainstream, to make them doubt their own education and what the U.S. government is releasing in the way of information and not releasing. And I mean, trust me, folks, this could spread, this incredible campaign, in Orwellian fashion. It already has begun, and there is no let-up in sight. No let-up in sight at all. 1984, that's what we're talking about here. If there's evidence that Russia is engaging in this massive campaign, let's see the evidence. Bring it out. Show it to us. We're not children. We can handle it. If these intelligence agencies are claiming they have such proof, release it. Let's see it. If not, it's all a gigantic hoax. It's all a gigantic hoax. Both presidential candidates, in fact, were briefed before the election by intelligence agencies who told them that serious Russian hacking is going on and disinformation is being spread across the internet. Of course, in the briefings, it does not appear that the intelligence agencies offered Trump and Clinton any specific evidence. They just said, we have it. You can count on us. Oh, yeah, sure. We always believe and count on intelligence agencies no matter what they tell us, because we know how honest and honorable they always have been in the past. Indeed. So we're now in a new world, folks. I mean, we've entered territory that is so bizarre that you would say it's unbelievable, except it's happening. Perhaps you remember during the presidential campaign that on a CNN broadcast, one of their news people, in fact, said straight out, you, the public, are not permitted to read the leaked emails. That would be illegal. We, however, can, and so you can only take your information about what is in these emails from us, in this case meaning CNN. I mean, fall off your chair when you heard that? Meanwhile, all the emails that have been leaked are published all over the web. But according to CNN, you're not supposed to read them. In fact, it would be a crime if you did. So that was kind of a clue as to what was about to happen that we are now seeing. Major media, as I've mentioned before in these reports, are dying. They're going down the tubes. Their profits are falling. They don't know what to do. People are deserting them in droves. Their hypnotic act about owning the news has failed, finally and definitively. Millions upon millions of people are in effect supporting the decentralization of news. That's what's happening. That's what's actually happening. This is the fulfillment of a dream of many, many people, including investigators, researchers, reporters, independent people, and massive numbers of the public. Recognize that we are in a time that we have been waiting for a very long time. The shift is happening before our eyes. Major media are falling, and they can't get up again. And instead, independent news sites are replacing them for untold millions and millions of people. Soon to be, if not already, 1 billion or more. Why? Because we know that the news we've been getting is a tiny corrupted fraction of reality. The reality that stretches the mind, that really exists. We know this. We've known it for a long time. And so we've been saying, when is the major media going to cover this? When is the major media going to cover UFOs? When is the major media going to admit that UFOs exist? When is the major and then that was stage one. Stage two is, oh, they're never going to admit all of these things. Stage three was, well, therefore, we have to have our own news outlets. And stage four, which we are in now, is we do. And they are replacing major media. And major media are in freak out mode. Serious, deep, profound freak time is happening before our eyes. And so they need a scapegoat. They need somebody to blame. They need to deflect attention from what's happening here in this revolution. And so they're picking out the biggest, widest read, independent news sites, alternative news media outlets, and they are blaming them for everything they can possibly blame them for. You're corrupting the country. You're corrupting the young. You're taking people away from what's actually happening. You are distracting them from real news, which we, the major media, present. And they are not acting alone. In fact, they are agents, proxies, in a secret, massive, covert op that spreads from one end of the planet to the other, that is being fomented by none other than the Russian government. Wow. That's the story they're floating. That is the story they're floating. And now, assuming that this bill passes both houses of Congress, which it certainly will, an interagency panel of the federal government will be set up to investigate for the purpose of countering this massive Russian covert op. No evidence presented. Zero evidence. This is exactly like 1984. The novel by Orwell. The enemy is out there. We know the enemy is out there because Big Brother tells us. And we hate the enemy, and we must fight and defeat the enemy. And if tomorrow the enemy changes into a different enemy, then we will believe Big Brother again, and we will fight against that enemy. Big Brother, major media, in the same pocket, same deal, same idea, same thing. Major media have been striving to the best of their ability to convince us that we are part of some gigantic global glob to which we must pledge allegiance and give up our individuality in one form or another, in all forms, in fact. I can't say that when I started No More Fake News in 2001 that I foresaw this happening, and certainly not quite this way. I wasn't thinking in terms of the internet revolution at the time. And speaking of that, if you recall, at the beginning of the so-called information age, all of a sudden everybody was talking about that when personal computers came in and then the internet came in. The idea was free flow of information of all kinds among people. That was the watchword. That was the banner. But then, as it happened, the high-tech companies who were making millions and then billions off of this internet revolution decided to turn around and work hand in glove with the government on the surveillance state, because that's where the money was, the big money. And as they learned their hard lesson, these big tech companies, once you rise to a certain level, you receive visitors from the government. They don't just let you move along. They want you to help them. They want you to cooperate. And they offer perks. If you do, carrot and stick. If you work with us, we give you this, this, and this. If you don't, you get that, that, and that. And so the companies themselves, the high-tech companies, became terminally corrupted. And for a time, it seemed like the idea of the free flow of all kinds of independent information, that was just going away. But no, it actually was building behind the scenes to the point where we are now, where what they call alternative media, what I call independent media, is taking over, actually taking over this program, other programs, websites, news websites, websites that specialize in specific issues and research them down to their core. This is what's taking over the news. And we're right in the middle of it happening. It's hard for many people to accept that, even though they have been wishing for it for a very long time. Well, that happens. You wish and you wish and you hope and you hope and you work and you work and then it's there and you don't even fully believe it. But it's there. Believe it. It's happening. This is a tectonic shift that is occurring. And from what I would call proof, we are seeing now the feeble, desperate, grotesque attempt at a counter-revolution by major media with their accusations that everybody except us is fake news, you know. They're just so far behind the curve that they can't catch up. They don't know what to do. They're just, they're wearing bell-bottom pants right now, and they think that's cutting edge. They're talking about stuff that is long gone. There's this thing called fake news, they're saying, and they present a different point of view on all the stories that we present to you. They have different ideas on what these stories actually mean. And they think that we're covering up the deeper aspects of all of this. And of course, that's completely false. They are fake news. They are agents of destruction. Well, we've passed that point a long time ago of even imagining that we might believe that. Because all of us, in one way or another, and I'm talking to all of you now, have seen in one form or another, in one issue or another, in one story or another, that you have found a website or websites that cover that issue that is so important to you in a way that is so much more profound and revealing than any major media outlet that it's a joke. And then you switch complete allegiance. Well, those idiots aren't going to tell me what I want to know if they cover this story at all. I know where to get that news, and that's where I go. So multiply that effect by 1 million or 1 billion, and you get what's going on here. So it's going to be very interesting to pursue this and see what happens as the feeble counter revolution occurs and major media keep on talking about fake news this and fake news that and fake news this, because they're really exposing themselves to more criticism, revelation, and so forth, as more and more people realize, well, they're the fake news artists. And that is my report for tonight on Fade to Black.
Excellent stuff, John. Excellent stuff. I had, I've got 2 minutes. I want you to respond to this. I heard today, and I think it's going to start to break out a little bit tomorrow, that Facebook now has said that they are going to deal with fake news head on. That they've got a new algorithm that's going to run, that's going to filter out fake news and immediately put it in quarantine. And then they're going to have human eyes go on it if it doesn't get automatically deleted by the algorithm. And then human eyes go through a second filter to allow the post to continue or not. Now, this is what's interesting here. They said that they are doing this because advertisers now are leaving in droves off of Facebook, and they need to answer to their advertisers that keep Facebook running, and that the advertisers don't want to be associated with fake news and fake news streams. And that's Facebook's response to it. What do you think about that?
Baloney.
Exactly.
Advertisers don't care. They'll put up ad dollars anywhere where eyeballs are.
Right.
They do.
Right, of course. It was a very interesting take. And where the dangerous waters, I've been watching, along with Rita, The Man in the High Castle, right? The new series. Mm-hmm. And I said to Rita last night, I go, I don't know what it was like to be in Nazi Germany in World War II, where everybody was suspicious of everybody. You didn't trust your parents, right? I mean, everybody was a spy versus spy. It was just crazy, right? The surveillance. And it depicts it so well, that here in the United States, that's what the series is about. But I'm afraid that we are very, very close to some serious censorship. I just feel it coming. I do. I think they've already enacted it, and we're heading in that direction.
Yeah, that's one thread of this. On the other side, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, et cetera, alternatives to these are springing up already because people who are being censored in chats, forums, et cetera, are just saying, well, we're going to take our operation somewhere else so that we can still talk to each other and compare research. And so what's really going to happen is millions more people are going to desert Facebook, Twitter, et cetera, because that's not where the action is.
Yeah. Who would have thought that the kingdom of Facebook could see the end of its days? But you know what? Everything comes full cycle. AOL went away, right?
Yeah.
You remember right. MySpace? Hey, John, don't change, my friend. And everybody, start out your day at nomorefakenews.com. Jon Rappoport. Thank you, John. Be safe out there.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Jon Rappoport, the very best. This is Fade to Black. It's Thursday night. It's Fader Night. 323-825-5045. Open lines all night long. Your calls next. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'll be right back.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
The
station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
Hello, I'm Kathleen, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station.
I'm getting older and noticing that my body just doesn't work as well as it used to. So I like to keep fit as possible by hitting the gym a few times a week. Recently, I started having a nagging bicep pain, and it got so bad I couldn't even lift the weights. When I was complaining about it to a friend, he told me about angioprim. He said chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in veins and arteries that may cause blockages. You know, after just 1 week of taking angioprim, the pain was gone, and now I'm back in the gym full strength. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. So to learn more, go to angioprim.com. That's ANGIOPRIM.com, or talk to a trained consultant. Call Angioprim toll-free at 877-882-7221. You'll feel better with more energy. Call 877-882-7221 or go to the website angioprim.com.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're of the Honey Brothers. Well, yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fader night. I'm in the chair. 323-825-5045. If you're on hold, you stay right there. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. It's Thursday night. It's Fader night. Open lines all night long. This is your show, and I do want to hear from all of you. With that, first up tonight, hi, you're live on Fade to Black. You're live. 3.
Hey, Jimmy.
Oh, there you go. Okay, who's calling?
This is Joe from Dallas. I'm calling from that logo.
Okay, how you doing, Joe?
Doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. What's up? What's up?
My question is about the alien base that's Alpha Malibu.
Okay, what's your question?
I just kind of looked at that, looked on Google, and let my eyes kind of go out of focus.
Mm-hmm.
And what it looked like to me is that it was possibly airbrushed, like to either hide something or it was maybe a Google hack.
Okay. I haven't looked at it, in the last couple of months on Google, so I don't know if it's been altered, but what makes you think that it's been airbrushed? Does it look different than the original pictures that we posted about it?
Well, I just looked up and down the coast, and something isn't right about that spot. There's something isn't right about it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. There's no doubt about that. We've done the same thing. But is this the first time you've gone and looked at it in real time on Google?
I've been listening to you for, probably 2 years.
Right.
And I love your show, and that was a great story, and I want to hear more about it.
Well, we all do, and we've got some stuff coming up. I can't really say. I've let a little bit of the cat out of the bag. We have gone out with a research boat, a big one, and we got under the water. But that's all I can say right now. They're finishing up things right now, and then we'll present things. But it's pretty cool.
I love Jon Rappoport, and I love alternative media. I subscribe to all of them. George Norrie, Alex Jones,
right?
Heather Wade,
right?
John B. Wells. I listen to them all, and I appreciate what all of y'all are doing, and it really means a lot. And Jon Rappoport is absolutely right on the fake news. And what I feel is going on is, if you look at the big news shows that come on at the evening news, every other advertisement is a big drug company.
Yeah, no doubt.
They are funding all this propaganda. And if you look at the repeal of the Smith-Mundt Act, that is a top priority. It's propaganda. It's domestic propaganda. And then if you look at what's going on, is we need to steamroll them with this truth media. We need to steamroll them because they're just spewing out all this.
Yeah, and to John's point, one of the things that he brought up is that they are now behind the ball, right? They're trying to catch up. There are a lot of instances now of different examples of the situation that they find themselves in that don't have anything to do with the news. And it could be anything. It could be the design of a motorcycle. It could be the way books are printed. It could be the way that you fry an egg. Something new comes along, right? And whatever the big version of that is, it takes the alternative mindset to come up with a new idea, right? And now what everybody didn't think would happen with the internet is what ultimately ended up happening. How you shop, how you listen to music, how you watch your movies or your TV shows, or how you get your news, right? They were so behind the ball on that because for decades they controlled everything. There was 3 or 4 television channels. This is before cable. And everybody went there. You got Time Magazine in the mail once a week or whatever. You got a newspaper dropped off at your house in the morning from the day's previous news, right? And that's the way things were dealt, and it was all in control. The internet comes along, and suddenly there was an ability for people that wanted to be journalists, for people that wanted to express themselves and do research and then present it, that couldn't get a job at the local news station or couldn't get a job at a newspaper. But suddenly, because you're always told no by the man, just like if you're a rock band, right? You're a band and you want to get a record deal. Well, you were forced to go into a record company to get your album out there. But now with the internet, you don't need a record company. Right? You just go. If your band is good, you record the stuff, put it out there, throw it up on YouTube, create your own CD, throw it up on iTunes. You don't need a record deal now. And that's what put the record companies out of business because they were behind the ball. You get it? They just didn't know how to respond. Now, that's what's going on with the news. They didn't realize that, you know what, maybe honesty in journalism and real work and going out and doing real research and real gumshoe reporting, getting out there and getting it done is what people really want to know. And now they've been busted, and now they're trying to respond to it. And they're behind the ball. They're completely behind the ball because now there are, thousands of independent news sites out there, like John said, that really investigate, that really get to the core of the matter, that really get into it. I'm not talking about the fake news sites. There are fake news sites out there that create fake news. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is honest, hard journalism. And we are not forced into going to CNN, MSNBC, Fox, RT, BBC, Sky News. We don't have to do that. And can you imagine, especially over the last year, the drop in viewership that all of the networks have seen on cable television? Can you imagine that? They've seen things dwindle. And the amount of traffic that is going to their websites, it is shrinking. And people are complaining. And they had control with all of that before. They had pure control. They don't have that control now. They can't tell people, hang on, had to hit the cough button. They can't tell people not to go somewhere. They can't do that, right? They can't tell people only watch us and force people where to click and what to do. And no, it is completely out of their control. Where before you turn on your TV and you had your choice of three, ABC, NBC, CBS, and that was it. You were going to go to one of the three. And now it's not that kind of party. CNN had a virtual monopoly for a couple of decades. They were the first 24-hour cable news network. And it worked for them for a while. And they were the only sort. Now it's not that kind of party. There's 24-hour news anywhere you want to go, including this show. They can't stop us, and they can't stop other guys like me that are out there, and gals, that are out there trying to speak the truth. And that's a classic example right there. That's a big, 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 big part of what's going on.
Now, my take on Snowden, listen to this. It's that Obama came out. They told him the bottom line is you cannot even suggest any assertion that he is a whistleblower, because any admission that he might even be a whistleblower is an indictment to the very top levels of government. And they are not allowed to entertain the idea that he might have any fraction of truth in what he says.
Well, I hear you. What, man, I know I've said this so many times before about Snowden. Snowden, I don't think that we know the truth about Snowden. That's what I think. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that there is something even deeper, way beyond disclosing, this 10 gigabytes or terabytes or whatever he's got under, the beyond the documents. That's what we know. That's the pop culture Robin Hood legend of Snowden. And I totally get that. That's what we know. But I think that there's something else going on. There's that, of course. I think there's something else. I think there's some interagency rivalry that was going on. He worked, for so many different three-letter agencies and bounced around, and how he did it, man. He could have been a CIA agent working for the CIA that went over to the NSA to embarrass the NSA because somebody in the CIA had a stick up their butt about the NSA. I think that there is something really, really crazy, which is an even more fun story than the one that we know. I think that there's something else. I really do, man. I just think there's a reason he's alive. There's a reason why he's in Russia. I don't know. I hope it's not just, and I'm being serious too. I hope it's not just he was a guy that was disgruntled at the NSA, grabbed some docs and split on a thumb drive and exposed him, and that's all there is to the story. I hope it's darker and more sinister than that, and I think that there's something else to the story. We may never know, but my fantasy is that he's just one dark, double, triple agent playing everybody against themselves. And wouldn't that be cool? So that's it.
That's the next movie.
It is. It would be the next movie. I think Stone got played a little bit. I think he should have gone a lot deeper with the story than he did. So there you go. All right, Joe. Hey, thank you for the phone call, man.
Hey, flip it 180 degrees, Jimmy.
Every day. I'll talk to you, Joe.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Behave.
Bye-bye.
There you go. That's a good phone call right there. Thank you, Joe. Hey, Kay, what are you doing, brother?
How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing good. I can barely hear you. Speak up.
Can you hear me better?
Man, you always got some whacked out thing that you, man, what are you talking to me on today?
Oh, it's going through Bluetooth right now in the car.
It sounds like a Motorola flip phone from 1995 with the extended battery on the back.
Oh.
Okay. So what's going on, man?
I want to talk about the Egyptian exhibit at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York.
Okay. What about it?
I was there a couple of weeks before you went.
Right.
And I saw that esophagus, the one that was standing on edge.
Oh, the black one?
The black one, yeah. And I didn't know I wasn't supposed to touch it, but I did. And I traced along the cuttings, the edges.
Right.
And they were super sharp and pretty deep, too. And the depth of all the cuts were almost identical. It's almost like they measured how deep to make the cut. And then the edges weren't rounded. They were kind of angular, almost like there was a tool that fit neatly into the slots that they used to carve the different symbols and stuff like that. And I thought, how can they do that with chicken bones, right?
Well, yeah, of course. The thing is, for me, about that, I mean, it was beautiful and it was perfect and there were no mistakes and it looked like it was made yesterday. But that wasn't even what blew me away. What blew me away was the size of it. It was just huge. And the pictures that we posted just don't do it justice, because I know, I stood on all sides of it because you could walk around to the back too. And I stood on all sides, and I'm going to guess and say it was about 6 feet wide, probably 10 feet tall, and probably 6 feet deep, right? That thing was huge. I'm 6 foot. And you look at those pictures of me standing next to it, so that thing was at least 10 feet tall. And when you walked into the room that thing was displayed in, and it was so dominant and so big, it just defies what your eyes are telling you. And the fact that thing got moved around, I can't imagine how they got it into the museum. Think about that for a second, right? Some big, gnarly, crazy Caterpillar forklift or two, and how many guys and ropes and things to put that thing into position. You don't move. Where they put it, that's where it's been sitting for a long time. You don't move that thing, man. It's just there. And so think about that. Well, they didn't have a Caterpillar forklift, 4,000 years ago. And that's the thing. I remember I showed pictures of that to John Anthony West, and his response was, Jimmy, I think that's from the New Kingdom, the Middle Kingdom or the New Kingdom. That isn't from the Old Kingdom. I said, what does it matter? And he goes, well, I guess it doesn't really. He was referring to the quality of the artwork, and that it was from, the Greek period, the New Kingdom. But my point is, dude, that was, 400 BC, 600 BC, whatever, through that period. It's still, 2,500, 3,000 years old. It doesn't matter about the date. I just don't know how they moved it. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, the Greeks didn't have forklifts either.
No. It doesn't matter, man. It is one of the most beautiful faces I've ever seen. I mean, and you know what else? I thought about that? Hey, Rita, post that black sarcophagus, the one with the face, the big, beautiful one that we saw, so everybody can understand what Kay's talking about. What I thought that blew my mind when I said that it looked like it was carved yesterday, it looked like modern steampunk art. You know, it looked modern. It didn't look old. It looked just so cool. You know, it's like something an artist would create today to create something really, really cool and have a look.
It was nice and shiny, too.
Yeah. Oh, Rita just posted in Twitter. I'm going to bring this up. We'll take some phone calls on this for sure. The thing that keeps coming up in Egypt is copper chisels, stone hammers, round rocks, hammers, and hemp rope, right? And so Rita for the last couple of weeks has been going, oh, what happened to all the weed? They made hemp rope from hemp. Were they smoking weed? Where did all the weed go? Where did they grow the weed to make all of the rope, to build all of those pyramids, to pull all of those obelisks around, to pull the 2.5 million blocks for just one pyramid? Where did all the weed go? And she's got a really good point. Where did the weed go? Where did they grow it? Did they smoke it? I'm assuming most of the hemp rope was made from male plants, and I get that. But you need the female plants, you need the buds, you need the flowers to grow the male plants, right? I'm not wrong. So where did all the good weed go?
And do they have to be pollinated? Where's all the bees?
Well, that's another good point. That's a great point. But where did they grow it? And where are the depictions of that? I wonder if it's hidden in the back rooms of the Cairo Museum, if they've got stone tablets with weed, carved into it. Because they got everything else down. They got all those lotus flowers, all the papyrus, all of that is depicted in the hieroglyphs and on the walls and the reliefs and the paintings and the jars and all of that. Where's the weed? And were they smoking weed in Egypt? Yeah, makes you think, doesn't it? Yep. Because you're a big pothead, aren't you, Kay?
No.
Yeah, you're a big pot. You can tell. You look at you, and I know that they just passed the laws here in California, so now you can grow 6 plants.
Yeah.
How many plants do you have at the house?
Well, Shaw said I was a stone witch.
Okay, there you go. I can barely hear you, Kay. Hey, listen, safe driving out there, my friend, and I'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right, you got it, Kay.
Right.
That sarcophagus that he's talking about, Rita's got to get. Rita's got to get the. Did she post it? Let me scroll back. Rita, did you post the black sarcophagus, the big one? Get that posted. Get the big black one with the big flat beautiful face on it. So where did the weed go? Right? Where did the weed go? Over I'll do this during the break. I'll pull up some hard facts here. But over if we start with the dynastic period, we can go with the Old Kingdom. If we go from 3000 BC to 2400, 2300 BC, where the Giza Plateau is supposedly finished. So in those 600 years, they had astronomy, they had brilliant math, they had architecture, they had engineering. They were able to figure out how to deal with gold, how to deal with copper, how to deal with carving these blocks and quarrying and sleds and the design of all of this stuff. But they never advanced the copper chisel and the round stone hammer. None of that got advanced. They didn't figure out anything else. Nothing else happened. Right? Nothing else. They were able to do the Grand Gallery in the Great Pyramid, right? They did the Grand Gallery. How beautiful is that? Red granite, and just from Aswan, 500 miles away. 20, 30, 40, 50-ton stone blocks. They somehow got through the desert or up the Nile, however they did it, right? But they didn't advance the tools. The tools were the same at the end, and they were smoking weed. They were probably eating weed. They had edibles. Remember I did the thing, the very first candy, which was honey mixed with... what was it? Honey and marshmallows, right? I think is what it was in ancient Egypt, right? Maybe they mixed some weed in, too. They had edible stores at the bazaar. You go down to the bazaar outside of the Giza Plateau. You could walk in and get your little baby obelisk to take home, right, to put on your mantle. In the village, right? You do that and get your edibles, too, at the same time. Think about that. This is Fade to Black. What did they do with all of that weed? 323-825-5045. Yeah, I've been ignoring you guys. Okay, who's up next? I'll bring you in. Okay, you stay right there. You'll be next up after the break. This is Fade to Black's Thursday night. It's Fader Night. 323-825-5045. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
You get a Zeepa. You get a Zeepa, you hear me?
What's the name when you snort? It's Zeepa, Zeepa. It's the thing we're craving for. It's Zeepa, Zeepa. You can't sleep all night. Zeepa, Zeepa. And wake up feeling right. It's Zeepa, Zeepa. Makes me love my husband more, 'cause he no longer snores. Zeepa, Zeepa, it's Zeepa, Zeepa.
Zeepa's different than any other device because it actually works. A lot of these other devices, they just bring the jaw forward. That's it. However, the thing that makes Zeepa different, it stabilizes the tongue, basically, with this elastic band. But right here, Jimmy's telling you that this is a unique device. Go to Zeepa now, buy it, and stop the snoring. Get a Zeepa, ZYPPAH.com. Zeepa.com. That's ZYPPAH.com.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Work with your doctor when taking medications. Make Protovite part of your healthy lifestyle.
HealthForLiberty.com is your source for Protovite, a powerful nutritional supplement that's a true breakthrough for your health. Poor digestion makes it nearly impossible to absorb the nutrition your body needs. Protovite is a liquid multi-nutrient formula with patent-pending absorption technology and the highest quality ingredients to nourish every cell in your body.
My name is Sandra White. 6 weeks ago, when I started taking Protovite, I was on 14 medications, from everything for blood pressure to fibromyalgia. In the first 10 days, my blood sugar dropped 50 points, and my fibromyalgia pain is gone. And so was 12 of the 14 medications that I was taking. I'm 66, living life and loving it.
Go to HealthForLiberty.com right now. That's HealthForLiberty.com.
Thank you, Protovite, for giving my life back.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Hi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Z-Pop. Man, I'm going to have that song in my head all night. That's effective advertising right there. Z-Pa. Z-Pa.com. Somebody just tweeted, is Jimmy Z-Pa in the mob? Yeah. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fade to Black. It's Thursday night. It is Fader Night. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. And the number to call in is 323-825-5045. I do want to hear from you. Where did all the weed go in Giza? A lot of hemp rope. I mean, a lot of hemp rope, which means fields of plenty. Where did it go? Well, another Russian cargo spacecraft burns up after another failed launch. The Progress vehicle launching supplies to the International Space Station has burned up in the atmosphere after failing to reach orbit shortly after launching earlier today. Roscosmos says that it had lost contact with Progress MS-04 383 seconds after it launched from the Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, and that the specialists were looking into the problem. The space agency said the loss of the cargo ship will not affect the normal operations of the ISS systems and the subsistence of the station's crew. The cargo ship, which had been scheduled to arrive at the ISS this Saturday, was carrying 2.4 tons of fuel, food, and equipment. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Yeah, this is Bill over in Missouri.
Hey, Bill in Missouri. How are you?
Where did the weed go?
I don't know, man. Did you smoke it?
No, I used to when I was younger, but it's kind of something that was it's a pastime thing. It ain't here no more.
Okay.
So anyway, you've got different types of hemp. They both look like a marijuana plant. You got sisal, which is what they use to make rope out of, and you got stuff that makes people high.
Right.
Okay. Suppose maybe the weed was so strong then that we have no idea how strong it was, because they could actually move in blocks with their metal sauce after using it.
Yeah. Where did the weed?
Entertaining thought or what?
I know. Where did the weed go? Where did the weed go? And it's just kind of funny.
Things have degraded through the centuries. We haven't progressed. We have degraded. The genetics of most things have degraded.
Right,
so,
right.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about that now.
Yeah, well,
the genetics of marijuana has degraded. The stuff that makes you high and able to connect with higher places and stuff. Just think whenever it was original, what might it have been able to do then?
Yeah, the real deal. You're absolutely right, Bill. Yeah. Thanks for the phone call, man. Excellent insight on that. I really dig it. Thank you so much.
I just kind of thought, you just hit me. Where did the weed go? Well, it degraded to where it became inconsequential.
That's right. That's a really good point, and that's why you live in Missouri.
All it would do is make you feel funny. You couldn't do nothing with it, so it was unusable. So it wasn't no more. It wasn't no better than alcohol.
Man, I heard about that weed you guys grow in Missouri too. I heard about that stuff.
Shame on you. I don't want to talk about it.
I'll talk to you, Bill. Behave, man.
You have a good one, dude.
Yeah, you
Thank
too.
You.
Yeah, if I was if I was a drug dealer right now, if I was a pot dealer, I'd be like, hey man, I got that stuff. I got the Egyptian weed. I got the original Egyptian weed. You know the stuff they made the hemp ropes from? I got that weed. The stuff that made them build the pyramid, I got that weed, man. You know, the Sphinx? I got that weed, dude. Think about it. Where did the weed go? Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. You're live.
Me?
You're live right now.
Where did the weed go? Dang.
Hey, Danny.
Besides in my lungs tonight, I could tell you where I think it went.
Where do you think it went?
I think it went to Tibet, somewhere high in the Himalayas, safe from the deluge, to make it, through all the gnarly times and whatnot.
Right. Do you
feel
think?
Me on that one?
Yeah, I do feel you on that one, man. And that Himalayan weed is some good weed too. And but
no, that kush is just.
That's what I'm talking about. That
Jimmy?
all of that Afghan, Himalayan, mountainous, crazy India, man. Hash, all that good. Think about that that's a really good point. But let's back up.
To go somewhere safe, right, to make it through all the gnarly changes of the climate. And
right,
whatnot.
right, and just get perfected. But let me ask you this: with all of the cool Egyptian artwork and the way that it looks today, and the carvings and the pyramid, do you think they were smoking weed?
Oh my goodness.
They weren't they?
Smoke weed. Just to look at it, you'd probably have to be smoking, right?
Well, look at it now. When you smoke weed and you look at some cool Egyptian art, aren't you like, dude, I get it. Right?
It sure as heck makes a lot more sense, Jimmy. You're right.
Absolutely, Danny. Hey, man, be safe out there, my brother. Thank you for the phone call.
All right, love you. Peace out.
Right back at you. That's a really good point, man. And went to the Himalayas. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy, Casper.
Hey, Casper. How are you, man? Everything good in your world?
I'm on the mend. I have a cousin with Crohn's disease, and I had an attack that went for like 3 days.
Oh, man, intense. Sorry to hear about it. But that's not what I heard. This is what I heard. I heard that you got busted writing fake news. That's what I heard. You were using your...
I could do some, I'll tell you, but I won't.
You were using your talents, man, to mess with the United States and the rest of the world.
Oh, it's in my nature to want to do that, and just in the last few days, like with everything going on, I'll run scenarios through my head with, well, if I wrote this fake news story and put it in this fictional county with this, and this, I can make people believe it's true, and but it's like I don't want to be really that deceptive. I mean, I'll stick like in my stories, for example, I'll have like a news article in the background on a TV set or something that's fictional, but it goes into the story. But, I could write some good fake news, I'll tell you, but I'm not going to say what I do because I don't want no one to run off with it. And mess with people. And the whole thing is, it might not, and the one I was thinking of doing was actually might not be that far from the truth. But just going off topic, is on CW Network this week, they did a 4-event crossover with Supergirl, The Flash, The Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, fighting the aliens, right? Alien invasion.
Yeah, I watched all 4.
How was it?
And it was all right. They didn't. The Supergirl crossover didn't really start till the very last 60 seconds.
Right.
Of that episode.
Right.
They actually more or less admitted they were battling the Greys.
Don't give it away. Don't give it. I haven't seen it yet.
Sorry. Well,
no,
if you watch the preview, you'll see it.
Okay. Well, we've been debating. We've been debating on watching it. Supergirl. My problem is, and I want to know if it's good or not. But I just can't. I just want Superman. You know what I mean? I just want Batman. I don't want Batgirl. I don't want Supergirl. I don't want Robin. I don't want any, so Supergirl to me, I just can't get into it. But I do like the whole alien aspect and them, saving the world. So, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's just interesting to note that, and you've talked about this before, where we'll see more and more of these films, TV shows popping up.
Right.
Where they're popping up.
Right.
And they've gone from describing aliens as good guys to bad guys to good guys to bad guys. It just kind of flipped the storyline.
Right.
And with Supergirl, the series, I quit watching Gotham. I just lost interest in it.
Right.
Now, with Supergirl, they brought in Mon-El, which is from Daxon, which is a colony of Krypton that was also destroyed. And they showed a clip for next season, which involves more outer space stuff in him. I thought that's going to keep me watching for that purpose. I want to see how they're going to wrap that in there. With more outer space spaceships kind of thing. So I'm into my spaceships.
Right.
So I write science fiction, but I don't read it per se. A little bit, but not much. It was just interesting that show aired, and you'll see more of that pop in. I mean, look, they talked about the moon landing a couple of weeks ago in Blackish. That was interesting. So you're starting to see more. It's like what was it you said? The Fringe is going mainstream?
Totally. Well, before we go there, on the series, 1 to 10, what do you rate it?
Supergirl?
Yes. The Alien, the four-parter.
Oh, the four-parter? On 1 to 10, I'll give it about 7 to an 8, just because it's got a lot of good action in it.
All right. Okay. All right.
It's got a lot of good action in it. I like my spaceships. Like that kind of thing.
Right, right.
So in that respect, I'll give it like a 7 or an 8. I think it was okay in that respect. They have some interesting, because in the current Flash season that's underway now, they have what's called Flashpoint, which is where Barry Allen went back in time, altered the timeline, decided he screwed up, went back to try and fix it again.
Right.
But some things were changed. So. But then you have Legends of Tomorrow, which are time traveling, which apparently is somewhat different than what Flash did. And they have their own scenarios of goofing up the timeline called anomalies.
Right.
Now I haven't been watching Legends of Tomorrow because I kind of lost interest in that. The Arrow I lost interest in after second season, I think. I just kind of went, I kind of lost interest in it.
Yeah.
Supergirl, I was kind of losing interest in it until they brought in Mon-El. And that may have been done. They may have brought in that character to, because you can't really run Superman in there all the time. So you probably maybe licensing agreements, difficult to say.
Right.
But Mon-El is an interesting character that hasn't been explored in film or television. So I think that's interesting.
Right.
I really like to see what they're going to do that. But I grew up on the X-Men comics and all that stuff when I was a kid. So, and the DC Marvel universes. So that was always really, that's kind of caught my interest because they brought him into it. So I'll see where they're going to go next season with it. See if they can continue to hold my interest. But I'm kind of like that. I'm not, if a TV show can lose my interest pretty quick. People have Earth lost my interest. Right.
Oh, really? Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. I've got.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, no, only that we've had our difficulties. TBS is really locking that series down and trying to access it, and so our method of accessing it right now has been locked down. With Fire Stick, Amazon Fire Stick. You can download the application. Okay. You can download the app for TBS. But it won't let you, man. And right now, because we've cut all satellite out, right? So we don't have satellite, so we don't have a provider, and you're caught in this catch-22. And so right now we're in a dark place right now, so we can't get to it. Oh. So don't tell me anymore.
I think it's good that they're doing the series. I think it's well written. I like the comedy aspect of it. And it helps to raise awareness. I think that that's a good thing, and I think it is well written. By me saying what I said, I wasn't necessarily downplaying it.
Right.
It's just, I spend a lot of time listening to your radio show, going, I was sick for a couple of days. So I finally caught Monday's show with, what was it, Rosnick? Rushkrick? I'm not pronouncing his name.
Rushkoff. You're talking about
Right.
Douglas Rushkoff.
Yeah, I listened to that the other day, finally, and really, really good show.
Yeah, he's a smart guy.
I really enjoyed it. Oh, by the way, I know as far as what happened to the weed,
yes,
the aliens took it.
Well, you started to make a point about the mainstream media and news.
Oh yeah,
and I cut you off.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was just saying that you quite a while back you said fringe is becoming mainstream. And kind of what we're doing is becoming more and more mainstream. And you're seeing that with People of Earth. You're seeing that with the Heroes versus Aliens. Even though those are fictional stuff on television, and even with Blackish doing, a couple 2-3 weeks ago doing the moon landing being fake, making reference to it.
Mm-hmm.
So the topics that are discussed in alternative media, like Fade to Black here, is you're starting to see these topics pop up more and more often on mainstream television, whether it's in the regular news or in fiction shows, the Heroes versus Aliens, People of Earth, even Blackish, which is a pretty big mainstream television show.
Right.
It's like way up in the Nelson ratings. So, we're just seeing that stuff pop up more often. And I don't know necessarily that the media is controlled by some secret whatever, and this is all being planned out as a slow release. It's just that it's getting more and more acceptable, with people to question things.
Well, that's
whatever.
Yeah, and that's always my fear, though. This is my fear. The joy of growing up and having Black Sabbath and Kiss records, right, was to stick it where your parents didn't expect it, right? And it was going against the grain. And now Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne are you know what I mean? They're mainstream. And that kills it. That kills it for us. And I don't want Fade to Black to be looked at as mainstream. But it's an inevitable course that our generation and the generations that are under us and the younger generations are going to look at us. Eventually, we're going to take down the man. It's just the way that it goes. It is a cyclical thing. We got legalized pot now, right? It is taking down the man. And so that's my fear, is that Fade to Black goes from being, the alternative, the cool thing, the fringe, the thing off the side, the thing that you're not supposed to do, the thing that should be maybe a little illegal. It's like smoking weed in your bedroom when your parents are in bed, and you're listening to Ted Nugent with your headphones on because you're not supposed to. Well, that's Fade to Black. And I don't want it to be mainstream. One of the things that is real here is Alex Jones. The cool thing that Alex Jones used to be was he was that secret little thing that you weren't, he was wrong, and you weren't supposed, not wrong, but he was wrong. He was a bad, you weren't, and that was it. It was almost, it felt like it was illegal, like it was some kind of pirate broadcast, and now dude he's pushed so hard to become big that now he's becoming mainstream, and he's not cool anymore. You're not cool you know what I mean?
We're going to see something coming here in the music.
Yeah, you're not going to. Yeah, right. You're not cool if your parents listen to you, right? So that, or whatever it is. Once your parents start going, hey, you know what, man? I like that Van Halen. Why'd you say that? I can never listen to him again. Thanks, Pops. Right? It's the same thing, man. So there you go. Hey, Casper, man, thank you.
I'm going to make my quick prediction, though. I think that next year we're going to see some music come out that is, remember how in the 60s, 70s we had music come out that was like, anti-war and things of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
And lately it's been all kind of blasé.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to see some more indie artists pop up they're going to catch a foothold with, I don't know what the term to use, Jimmy, is. Kind of not subculture, but where they're like saying, environmental, social issues. I think we're going to see a surge in music and maybe in books and film. I think we're going to see that pop up in the next couple of years.
So something like, are you saying we're going to see something like a modern version of social awareness through music like Woodstock, and we're going to see a whole wave of awareness-type music come out?
Yeah, I think you're going to see some stuff where people are starting to use more cryptic lyrics. There's a band in Toronto that's almost like a Fade to Black band. If you you look at their lyrics, and when I chatted with them on the internet, they're all into outer space and everything else. And I think if this trend continues and they can gain a foothold, not just that band but other ones, that we'll see a surge like we did in the 60s and in the early 70s, where you had a lot of those cryptic lyrics like Hendrix Along the Watchtower, which was written by Dylan, songs like that, where you're going to see some stuff pop up like that in the near future, the next year or 2 years. I think we're going to see more of that pop up.
Right.
But I don't want to keep other people from calling in. I'm sorry. About
that's fine, man. Don't worry about that. They can stay on
yeah.
hold.
Well, I have one more question, Jimmy. Do they
Sure.
still have pay to play in L.A.?
Man, we don't have clubs in L.A. to have the pay to play at.
And all on the Strip.
Look, after the Strip fell down, okay, the Roxy is still there, the Whiskey is still there, the Trube is still there, but Gazzari's and the vibe and the way that it ran before, no. The pay to play system, the Coconut Teaser's gone.
That's a nice place too.
Well, no, it wasn't. A place was full of cockroaches, but it was the best place to go see a band. I'll tell you that. It was great. It was awesome. That place had a stench. And you know what? You know what's funny? Now it is one of the most expensive restaurants in L.A. It's called Michael's 14. Or I haven't been by there in a while, and I thought, man, I hope they disinfected that thing down to the foundation, man.
Didn't the Teaser have an outside patio?
Yes, it did, man. Absolutely. That patio was one of the coolest places ever. Free hot dogs and chili on Monday nights. Oh, man. I love that place. And who is the guy that Len Fagan? Len Fagan was the guy that booked that place and was always at the front door every night. He's still around. I talk to him once in a while, but man, I loved the Coconut Teaser. I had a studio behind it for years and years and years. Right, literally from the front patio of this. We had two houses up there with a bunch of 24-track studios in it. And from the front patio, I looked down onto the back and the parking lot of the Coconut Teaser right there, Selma Drive. Oh man, it was a good time. Anyway, the pay to play thing. So all of that kind of moved up the Strip, and they tried to redo it over at Hollywood and Highland, and they tried to kickstart it again over there. But that's when you are trying to, and I kind of talked about this last night on the show. You can't force, a music scene. You can't force it to happen. It has to happen organically. It has to, just happen. And that's what, from 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, up through, 85, 86, until grunge kicked off in 88, 89. So that was like a 10-year window. And it got really, really thick and heavy from like 83, 84 to 87. And through that period, it was mayhem on the Strip. And you had the Stardust, and you had... you had other places too as well. But anyway, the way that it happened, nobody expected it. Nobody did, and it was the big hair stuff. But you also had the punk scene that was there, and the Orange County punk scene that came up into L.A. And you had the whole Valley Girl it was a moment in time, and it's gone. It's gone. Silver Lake.
I felt so lucky to have been a part of that in the early '90s. So I was at that studio '89 through '93, and I felt so fortunate to have been there for parts of that.
Yeah, and it was.
Just for the listeners, pay to play is where if a band wanted to play at a nightclub on the Strip in the '80s, they had to buy the tickets from the club. It could be anywhere from $300, $600, $800, depending upon the night and the time slot. And the band would have to turn around and sell those tickets to their friends and family to recoup the cost. And that's where the term pay to play comes from. And just in case listeners didn't understand what that meant. Sorry.
Yeah, and nobody ever recovered their money. So that's why they called it pay to play. You paid to play the nightclub. And it was such a racket. It was such a racket. If you were a promoter on the Strip in the 80s, and you walked into these promoters' offices, and they would give you this stack of tickets, right? You'd get 50 tickets or 100 tickets that you had to turn around and sell for $10 each, and they charged you $5, right? And they'd give you the bundle of tickets, and out you went. So you got 100 tickets, cost you $500, and you were supposed to turn around. And it was always this, yeah, man. So you sell them for $10 each, man. You make $500. And the rock and roll dreams, man. Well, so they would do that. They would do 5 bands a night, right? So the promoters, 7 nights a week, were putting in their pocket, $5,000 in their pocket, paying. They turn around and pay the venue a couple of grand, and the venue keeps the bar or whatever it was. And it was this racket. It was a racket, and they did it for years. Man, they did it for years, and nobody really did anything about it. You know what fixed it? Grunge. Grunge.
Oh yeah,
grunge comes along.
Yeah. I think the next big act is going to come out of Toronto, but that's just my thought on it. But
it could be. Just don't bring us another Justin Bieber, and we're all cool. All right?
No.
All right.
I don't think we'll see that. I hope.
Hey, Casper, thank you for the.
I'll let you go.
Yeah, I gotta get to a commercial break. Thank you for the phone call and the trip down memory lane. Thank you so much, my brother. Casper Parks. Thursday night, Fader Night, 323-825-5045. More of your phone calls next. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
KGRA Radio. Intelligent talk.
Did you know 40% of all cancer could be prevented? That's a fact. Along with maintaining appropriate body weight and regular exercise, the American Institute for Cancer Research and the USDA confirm that eating 9 to 11 servings of fruits and vegetables every day is the key. Now ask yourself, am I at risk? How many servings of fruits and vegetables did I eat today? Balance of Nature has solved this problem and provides an easy and affordable way to consume over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables every day.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code TSL.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store. So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If your home has hard water, then it's likely that limescale is clogging your pipes, damaging your appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars each year. You can eliminate limescale in the entire house with HydroCare products available at Wave Home Solutions. Easy and efficient with no maintenance, no salts, no chemicals, and no coils. And you can buy with confidence from Wave Home Solutions. Performance guaranteed. Just go to bestwater411.com. That's bestwater411.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
It's Thursday night, and it's Fader night. Open lines all night long, and let's do just that. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Who's this? Is this Brandon?
Oh, you guessed it, man. That's right. You guessed it.
How you doing,
yes.
man?
Boston.
How did you like the sister?
The sister? Oh, yeah, man. Dude, you know what? Because I guessed Adeste Fideles, and because off of Bob Dylan's new Christmas album, he sings in Latin, Adeste Fideles, you know. Right. And so I had it, Oh, Come All Ye Faithful. I thought that was the one you were going to open up with, actually, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be that version, you know what I mean? But that was great.
Yeah. It's an easy song to rock out to. So a lot of bands have done it. Rob Halford's done his version of. There's a lot of versions of that out there by different hard rock, heavy metal bands. Because
I think Christopher Lee did, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he did.
Used to release a heavy metal album like every Christmas.
Yeah, most people don't know that Christopher Lee was a heavy metal lead singer, man. That dude was Doc.
Yeah, he was on another level, that guy, man. I mean, he really was Saruman. He was he was incredible.
Man. You know, if anybody out there wonders what we're talking about, you know, Christopher Lee, right? Dracula. Christopher Lee, the actor, was a heavy metal lead singer. And go out there, Google it, check it out, man. It's all over the place. And if you've ever wondered, man, he was he was the spawn of the devil, man. That stuff came out of his abdomen, his soul.
Yeah,
he was
I remember he was asked once, you know, he said, I want to put to rest the rumor that I have 60,000 occult books. It's not true. I have 300,000 occult books.
Yeah, right.
But he made no mistake about that. But man, I called in last night. Was great on the John Teeter episode, and it was very interesting. And I kind of want to maybe set up, you know, a few things, the record straight, maybe, and so we can all come together because we're all friends. And John Rasmus Hoax Hunter is my friend. Okay. And so I was telling him what was going on.
What's his name?
Show.
What's his name?
John Rasmus.
Okay.
This is Razimus.
Okay.
So when you got the tweet, you're like, I don't know if this is the hoax hunter, but he's saying he's listening or something, you know. But I was kind of feeding him the information. So it was very, very cool to see, that this guy, is writing a book about John Teeter. He sounds like a really good kid, very articulate, and knows the story pretty well. And it's funny because, John was just, I think the misunderstanding, I think it was a miscommunication. I think it got silly, kind of out of hand when people kind of use snarky language. You know what I mean? And, John's very protective of his work and everything. So, I think, and you said that he pointed to Keith Rowland in one of his videos, and he never has. But
who? I didn't. Wait, Brandon, you want to set the record straight? I didn't say that.
No. I think last night, if we replay, we don't have to argue right now, but I think you said that John, the hoax hunter, had pointed at Keith at one point. So that's fine.
No, I didn't. No,
okay.
No.
All right. So that's what I'll
my
anyway.
point. But I will set the record straight with. I haven't seen his videos in years. Right, years.
Right.
But that being said, him or anybody out there, anybody out there wants to bring me some evidence of Teeter, bring it.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, I know what I know, Brandon.
Right.
And I'm telling you, they can't.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
That's it. That's it, because I know what I know. No. And so that's it. So they can go. And this is the other thing, and I'm going to set the record straight here, too, as well, that everybody that has been approached about this has said, no, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. And that's a very strange thing to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't somebody say, it's me, right? And then the ones that say that it's me, it's obviously not. And it can't be, and it won't be, because I know. And that's the end of the story. So that's it. And if anybody out there, anybody, and I'm serious about this, if anybody out there could reveal the John Teeter story, they would be the most famous person in alternative media. They would be the rock star for the rest of their life. But they can't. They will always fall short. And that's it. That's my point. That's it. That's it. There is no other discussion. Okay, so anyway, you called me. What else is up?
Well, I agree with you, Jimmy, on that totally, 100%. And but I think he has a video dropping December 31st that's going to supposedly put an end to Teeter. Now, I kind of agree with you that no matter what, the story's going to go on. It's going to go on. It's going to be talked about. There's no stopping that, But it's the end for him, at least. And I think you got to commend him for, and as the author Mike did last night, for doing the research that he's done. He is, one of the, if not the expert on John Teeter. I mean, he's been studying it for 12 years, the kid, in pretty good detail. So not just John Teeter, but a lot of different topics. If you go to his YouTube, I suggest, you check out. And, I understand, where you're coming from, because, ultimately, really, how can you get a piece of evidence from John? Like, can you get that box, that crazy box that he had that was some kind of like military box in the back? I mean, there's so many things that people cannot produce, you know what I mean? That really would be hard evidence for John Teeter. But I think that Hoax on Erasmus is doing pretty good work. And I think we should all be friends. And I've been a friend of yours for a while,
I don't know the guy. Never talked to him. Never reached out. I don't know him. And his videos are cool. He's spent a lot of work out there, but that's it. But when he posted last night that I lied, that right there, he doesn't know me, and he knows nothing.
No.
And for him to go and post that in a public place, and I'm going to say this right now, you are charting into territory that you don't want to get wrapped up in. And by saying that, it discredits him. It makes him look like, you know, you got to be very careful. If you want to go out there and he's your buddy, so you should just go and repeat these words to him. If you want credibility and you want respect, don't talk smack. People aren't impressed with that. And you turn around and you call, you know, want to use that word lie with me in our Twitter feed, and then you want to say that you're not even listening to the show, right? Dude, just pack up and get out of here. I don't have time for you. It's just wrong. You look dumb. If you want to say, hey, I'm sitting here listening to the show, and I don't think that is true, well, that's different. But don't come in here and say, dude, you know, and post that. It's distracting to me, and it doesn't.
I agree.
It's not impressive. It doesn't impress anybody.
I think our connection's messed up, Jimmy. Yeah, I agree totally. I think the you know, saying people can be careless with words sometimes, and I don't think words are heavy like that. And I understand like what you mean, but I think we can all be happy and be friends, and at the end of the day, look at the John Teeter story objectively and come together as a team, you know, and put our minds together rather than being enemies. You know what I mean?
He's not my enemy. I don't even know the guy.
Exactly.
He's not my enemy.
Exactly.
But you don't call out Nori and me. You just don't do that. Don't do it. Don't. It's a zone you don't want to go into. You know, that's it.
No,
it's a zone. Trust me on this. There's a zone you don't want to go into. And that line was crossed, you know, so that's it. That's it, you know. So, anyway, what else is going on, man? Let's move on.
Well, that's it. I think my signal's a bit short here, man. I don't know why. Usually it's really pretty good, but just want to say thank you, love you, and thanks for everything, man. You're the best.
Yeah, you too, Brandon. Behave out there.
All right, have a good night, man. Yeah, I will. Bye.
Yeah, right on. Brandon, great phone call. You know, just trying to set the record straight. But, you know, look, man, you just don't jump in here and make a comment and follow that up with, well, I'm not listening to the show, but, well, dude, whatever. Past tense, immediately canceled check, and that's where that goes to. Breaking news today, everybody. Breaking news. Buzz bleepin' Aldrin was in Antarctica. And he got evacuated from the South Pole. Now, Buzz, as we know, the second man, allegedly, by the way, to walk on the moon. I still don't know how that works, how he allegedly filmed. Well, anyway, Armstrong. Wouldn't there have been somebody first? I don't know. That's always been confusing to me. But he has now arrived in New Zealand after being medically evacuated from a tourist trip. He's 86 years old. He was flown out of Antarctica after his condition deteriorated. And this was from the official statements from the tour operator, White Desert. He was evacuated on the first available flight out of the South Pole, and he currently has fluid in his lungs, but he's responding well to antibiotics and is being kept overnight for observation. His condition is stable, and he is now in good spirits. I got a picture of him. I should have posted it today, which was him getting on the plane, and it was a Russian plane. It looked like Russian writing. It was a Russian plane that he flew to the South Pole in. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Who's calling?
My name is Bill, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Bill from Pennsylvania. How are you?
Good. Not too bad. Nervous.
Don't be nervous, man. Don't be nervous. Somebody was posting that earlier today, Bill. It was like, I forget. I don't know if it was in Facebook or if it was in Twitter. They were like, man, I'm nervous when it's nothing to be nervous about. I'm just like you. Okay, we're in a bar. We're sitting at the bar. We're knocking back some shots, and we're just rapping. So what's up, Bill?
Well, I wanted to call and get 2 months.
Okay, you're breaking up, so you need to repeat what you just said. You dropped out.
Yeah. You know what? I don't have a really good signal, and I have nowhere else to go.
Okay, but right now you sound good. You sound good, so get it out.
All right. About 2 months ago, my wife and I were camping, and we were cooking, and she went to look for something. And she asked me if I knew where something was, where utensil. And I said, it's in the camper under the sink. And she's like, no, I moved it. And I said, nope, it's there. And she's like, no, I'm absolutely positive. So whatever. She goes, she looks, she doesn't believe me. It's there. She comes out. She says, it was there. Okay. I suddenly got this wave of like deja vu, but really, really strong. And she looked at me. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, this has all happened before. And then I started, just like deja vu happens, you see a car drive by. Oh, I remember that.
Right.
But then I stood up, and then I'm like, he's going to talk to something about his mother in the campsite next to us. And sure enough, a couple minutes later, he started talking about something about his mother, and I don't remember the details. I got, it was something that's never happened to me like that before. It was very, very strong, where I was able to, for maybe 5 minutes, know exactly what was going to happen just before it happened. And I was wondering what your take on that, something like that is, because nothing like that has ever happened to me before.
Enjoy it is what you do. Enjoy it, man. I love it when it happens. I do.
Yeah.
I do. Deja vu trips me out, and the thing is about deja vu, and especially when I was younger, I used to, and I would make these comments to people about it, that I felt like somebody was reading my book, that somebody knew my life before I did, right? And that was kind of my look. I mean, how can you know that something is about to happen and it starts to play out in real time? And now, it happens to me so often. It happened to Rita and I a couple of weeks ago. We had some guests over at the house, and it happened. It right there. We both had the same deja vu at the same time. And how weird.
Both did at the same time?
Yeah. And how weird is that when it happens? And now I'm just like, I just enjoy it. I enjoy the moment. I write it out.
Maybe I should have done that.
Yeah, I listen to people speak, and I just enjoy the moment, man. And that's all you can do. What is it? I don't know, man. I don't. Yeah. Some of the research that I've read, Bill, about this is that it is a familiar situation that that's all it is. It's something familiar, and you're relating to it. Man, that's way too simple to me. I think it's way too simple. And when I know somebody's about to say the words that they are about to speak, right, and I look at them and those words come out of their mouth, that is not a familiar experience. That is something strange. It's a time slip. It's something weird, man. I don't know what it is, but
definitely weird.
I just enjoy it
for me on that.
Yeah,
I mean, it was enough to freak me out because it had never happened to me for that long of a stretch before.
Now, what about
that's
this?
What really caught me off guard.
Yeah, what about this utensil thing? What was it?
It was.
You're breaking up again. Damn it.
Yeah. I was what started the whole deja vu. She just went in and would have sure that I moved this. I forget exactly how.
Oh, Bill, you're breaking up, my brother. You're breaking up. In fact, I think we've lost you altogether. All right. Man, I wonder what the utensil was. And did it actually get moved? Right? Or was it not? Man, I wanted to hear the end of that. I still got Twisted Sister on my brain. A full-sized replica of the Titanic is being built right now in China. State media reported the entire thing today, whereas it is expected, well, they are saying, to enjoy smoother sailing as a lakeside tourist draw, right? But don't get too excited. It ain't sailing to a port near you, because the 883-foot-long, 28-meter-wide ship will be docked permanently on a reservoir in rural Sichuan province in China. It's going to feature an interior reproducing the grandeur of the original. It's going to have the ballroom, the theater, the swimming pool, first-class cabins. It's even going to have Wi-Fi. But you're going to need a passport, visa, and a plane ticket to see it. And to me, the press release was a teaser. It was fake news. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy. How's it going tonight?
It's going good. Who's calling?
Hey, this is John T. from Twitter. How's it going?
John T. from Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. How are you, man?
Good, man. Been listening for a while and enjoying the FADERNIGHTs. Love the show, man.
Yeah,
all good.
Thank you so much, John. What's on your mind?
I got something happened today. I posted in Twitter, and I thought it was right up your alley, man.
What happened?
Mandela effect.
Oh,
So,
I did see this. Yes, I saw this about Attenborough, right?
David Attenborough, yeah.
Right.
So I've got this memory of, I don't know, man. I think it was earlier this year. It might have been last year, but I remember reading a story or hearing a news article or something on him dying. And I remember thinking, well, that's too bad, because I had gotten the Planet Earth version with him narrating, and I thought, well, that's too bad, man. That guy had a great voice, loved the Planet Earth series and all of that. And I was wondering if anybody else had experienced this, because, man, I can remember it like it was yesterday. I was standing in my living room, and I think I heard a news story say it, and then I read it online, and it was just like, man, that's too bad. That guy was awesome.
Right.
And so,
right.
Yeah, and so now he's still alive. I look it up today. He's still alive. And I'm like, oh, crap. Well, all this time before, I thought the Mandela effect was just people with bad memories. But now it's happening to me. I mean, I really think something's switched here. So,
yeah.
What do you think about all that?
Man, I'm with you. I don't know. You know, and for people to dismiss it as bad memories when it's starting to make me question my own memory. In that, I'm talking about the memories that I walk around with all day that I enjoy, right? My memories.
Yeah.
And now I'm wrong. You know, and the memories that I've carried for 20 years, 30 years are wrong. Yep. And it makes you just stop and just wonder about your memories. Birthday parties or things when you were young, you know, have they been twisted? You know, I don't know, John. And I read your thing today, and I went and looked at it. I was like, dude, he's alive, right? And so I tried to recall. I saw your post in Twitter immediately, and I tried, and I don't have a recollection of anything being announced. So I couldn't get all wrapped up in your Mandela effect. I wanted to. I really did. But I didn't remember it. But I'm glad that you caught it, and now you know. See, that's the thing. Nobody's going to tell you any different about your memory or the Mandela effect. Now you know, just like I do. I've got a couple of specific memories. One of them was the shuttle disaster. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was in 1985, and it turned out to be in January 86, and my life was different in 86. It wasn't what it was in 85, but I also remember telling everybody the story. And now I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, see, I remember you talking about that, and I specifically know where I was at the time. I was working at a restaurant. It was after, because I graduated in 85. So this was in 86 after I'd graduated. And I remember we were standing at the counter when we heard it on the radio. And so I've got it linked to 86. And when you've been talking about it, I was like, man, I really know where I was. And I don't think it was 85. I'm almost 100% sure it was in 86. And so when you said that, I thought, well, it's just memory. It's just memory until today. And today, now, I can't even argue. And it makes me wonder if it's you know, we talked about time travel last night. Well, maybe it's timelines crossing. I don't know, man. Something else is going on. You know, if you believe in the multidimensional universe theories, if you believe in like some of the channelers or some of the spiritual gurus talking about everything is all happening in the now.
Well, you know what? Hey, John, stay right there. I'm going to put you on hold. I don't want to finish this conversation,
okay.
But I do have to take a break right here. Stay right there. We'll pick it up when we come back. This is Fade to Black, Thursday night, Fader Night, 323-825-5045. I'll pick up with John right after this short break. You guys stay right there. First time John's called in. I can't cut John off. I would never do that, would I? I'll be right back.
Hey, what up, y'all? Sugar Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-618-WAVE, 888-618-WAVE, or visit mydryhome.com, mydryhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to JimmyChurchRadio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Teppy.
This is Kristen, Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back, Fade to Black, Thursday night, Fader Night. 323-825-5045. All right, if you're on hold, stay right there. But right before the break, John T, first time, too. Are you okay?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
I'm excited to get in. Thanks for taking my call.
Man, and everybody, it's funny because right after the breaks, the lines light up, right? Everybody's trying to get in, and not this time. All right, so this is, you brought up a really, really good point before the break, and that's why I didn't want to let you go, is that, and I'll always let somebody finish a phone call, too, as well. I just won't, end a thought or hang up.
That's why you're the best, Jimmy. That is awesome. I love that.
Well, it's really true. But anyway, is what may be happening here, and I'm glad you brought this up, is that could there be something to the left of us, something to the right, another world, Superman Bizarro world kind of stuff that is zipping in and out of us, right? Could it be that? And possibly while they're here, maybe even changing something. Or could it be the opposite? Could we, not knowing, unwittingly, be dipping into something to the left or to the right and taking a glimpse of that world? And you don't know it. It's so close to where you are at that it's just a little bit different, and most of it's the same, but just that one little thing, like Attenborough's dead in this world. And you go in and you hear the announcement and you hear it, it's on the radio. Then you're back in this timeline and you don't know it until it's revealed to you that dude is alive. And you're like, wait a minute, he's not. So could it be? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. The Mandela effect is something that's real.
Had you ever heard of the concept of dimensional jumping?
Of course.
So I like this idea because it's, I think one of the channelers, Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar, talks about how reality is very much like a film strip. When you pull out old-style film, there's no motion. It's just all static pictures. And the image or the concept of motion is those pictures get changed 24 frames a second, so I can't see them. And he says reality as we perceive it is the same way.
Right.
That everything exists, all of the possibilities, but they're all static. And we're moving at billions of times per second.
Right.
So our minds can't perceive the shift.
Right.
And dimensional jumping is all about jumping timelines like that, or jumping through different ways where there's non-coherence through reality as we perceive it. And I think that may have something to do with the Mandela effect, but I haven't been able to consciously jump, but on Reddit, they have a dimensional jumping subreddit where they have 982 across the top on the banner.
Right.
And apparently that banner is supposed to change numbers when you actually
I've heard that
jump.
Too. Right.
It's never changed for me. But.
I've heard that too. Well, this is what's really trippy is I don't think that let's just say that the Mandela effect is real. I think that we're getting closer to accepting that fact. But let's just say right now that the Mandela effect is real and it's time travel, it's shifting, it's alternate realities, it's dipping into parallel universes, whatever it may be. But I don't think if it's real that it's a new phenomenon. What I'm saying is it's been going on forever, right? As long as
it has to have been,
right. And the only reason why we are talking about it now is the friggin' internet. That in years gone past, let's go back 30 years ago, you're not going to tell somebody about it, right? You're not.
No.
You don't want to freak anybody out, right? So you keep it to yourself, like deja vu, right? So you're keeping this stuff to yourself. But what you can't do is spread the information about the Mandela effect to get everybody else talking about it. So they all go, everybody's safe and sane, right? They can come out and go, hey, this happened to me too. So now collectively today we're getting all the information together, and now everybody's going, holy crap, that's right, it happened to me. So that
and now you know what I feel like, Jimmy? I feel like I've been watching Westworld, and I feel like one of the hosts in Westworld now. I'm not all the way through the series yet on HBO.
Yep.
But I feel like one of them sometimes where I get these flashes where things just don't add up, like this David Attenborough thing. And it's freaky. And so how do you know what's real, what's truly going on, The nature of consciousness is a crazy thing to explore.
Hey, have you seen, and just to let you know, we're all caught up on Westworld, so you just wait. It's going to get really, really... it's going to get really whack here in a second. But have you seen The Leftovers?
I have not.
Okay, no. I'm going to say this to everybody right now that is listening to my voice. If you haven't seen The Leftovers, go from episode 1, watch it. Watch both seasons. It just got picked up for a season 3. It's on HBO. And watch it from the beginning and watch both seasons to the end. Dude, that is a mind bender. And it's really, really, really well done. There are some moments of harshness, of reality. I mean, some of the characters really get messed with, in a mental sense, though. Only in a mental. There's not anything really graphic or anything. It's not about that. But it's pretty good. It's pretty dang good.
I watched an episode or two a long time ago, but it just didn't seem to really click with me. It kind of reminded me of the 4400.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Right.
Earlier in the 2000s?
Watched it all. No, totally different thing going on here. Okay, totally different. So I'm going to let that go for now. The Leftovers, it starts off, okay, the premise of the show is this, and I think the number is 146 million. On one day, 146 million people vanish. Poof. Okay, now, Earth is 7 billion people. So 146 million isn't that much, right? Chances are you wouldn't know anybody that left, right? But 146 million people vanish. Poof. And so that's what the show is about. You have the social side of things, right? You would have to. What would happen if your wife just disappeared or your son? The implications of the impact of your family or your job or whatever. So there's that. But then there is the other side of it. You know, why did they go? Was it religious? You know, what happens to religion in the world? Does the belief in religion increase? Does it decrease? I'm going to just say you need to watch the series. But then you have the other part, right? Like, for instance, we deal with this in ufology all the time. There are purveyors out there in ufology that will say that they are right and everybody else is wrong, right? Or you have the people out there in ufology that will surface and be some type of guru, right? That they have all of the answers, and this is what's really going on. A spiritual side, right? Well, so if you take that same mindset and apply it to The Leftovers, and one day 146 million people disappear, and nobody knows why, you're going to have somebody that doesn't know, right? But he makes it all up. He makes it all up, right? And so what is he going to do? He's going to get his followers, right? So there's that part of it too as well, and it's really, really, really well done, man. I mean, it's a kick-ass series. So anybody out there, go and watch The Leftovers. So there you go.
On. You got me all fired up to watch it now. So I got something after the Westworld ends. So
yeah. Westworld. I loved Future World and Westworld when I was a kid. I suppose when those came out, I was probably, 73, 10, 11, 12, 13. I was probably 12, 13 years old. Couldn't get enough of it, man. I just could not. Westworld, Future World, Yul Brynner, Blythe Danner, of course, what's his name? Easy Rider. Fonda. Yeah, Peter Fonda. Great, man. I mean, Future World. So, but this version of it and the way that they are playing it out is it's very, very good. The storylines and the technology and the way that they're doing it is really well worth the watch. It had me from the
and
first
I
episode.
I missed the first time around, so this is all new to me. So it's just fantastic. I'm totally hooked.
Yeah. Well, when you're done with this season, which is going to be soon here, you got to go back and watch Future World, man, with Blythe Danner and Peter Fonda and Yul Brynner and Westworld, because they're really well done. I mean, cheesy effects, but it's not about that. It's about the story. So, all right, John, I'm going to let you go, my brother. First-time caller. Don't be a stranger.
Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate it. Love you so much. You guys do just a great job, and I appreciate all you do, man. Thanks so much.
Love you right back, John. Thank you for the phone call. And I got to do it, man. It's Thursday night. Maria from Sweden.
Hey.
What's going on?
Well, John got me all excited.
Oh, okay. Well, that stays between you and John, Maria. Okay. I think
I also just posted about a Mandela effect.
You did? Okay.
Yeah,
what is
like
it?
2 days ago.
Oh, yeah. I did see that bounce through. What happened?
Well, I was talking with my sister, which I do every Sunday for like a couple of hours. She's in California. And she was telling me how while she was in Vegas, she went and saw Cirque du Soleil Love, which is the Beatles show.
Okay.
And I said, oh, that's really cool. Remember when we saw it, a few years back? And she says, well, I've never seen it before. And I said, well, that's impossible because last time I was in Vegas was in 96. And I went and saw that show, and it was with you and your husband. She says, no, I've never seen it before. And I said, well, maybe it was just me and Ron then, and you weren't there for some reason. But I remember sitting in the show. I remember where I was in the theater. I remember we were all excited because it was the first year of the show. It was the opening, and it was really tough to get tickets.
Well, you didn't talk her. I mean, you didn't talk her into remembering. She just
no, flat out. She's like, I was not there. So I said, well, I know that I saw the show and I can describe it, and So I said, ask Ron, if he remembers. He didn't remember being there. He says, I've never seen that show before.
Uh-oh.
So now I'm like flipping out. I'm thinking I must be insane because I know I saw the show and I don't go to Vegas. I mean, the only time I go to Vegas is when I go with them because they do a trade show there and I help out.
Right.
And I'm like, there's no way that I saw this show and you guys were not part of it.
I'll say it again. Uh-oh. You're right.
I mean, really bizarre.
Yeah, man.
Because it's clear as day.
Yeah. There's something going on with this, and
absolutely,
and I'm serious with John. The beauty of the internet is playing out right here because it has enabled everybody to come out of the closet and go, you know what? I've had issues too with Captain Crunch. I've had issues too with whatever it may be. That they had a memory a certain way, and it as time has gone past, this thing has bothered them, right? And they haven't, and now they have a vehicle, a way to get out there and express this, and it's really messing with people. It's messed with me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember the shuttle incident in '85.
Right.
Because my life was different in '86, and I know exactly where I was when it happened.
Yep.
So I'm right with you there.
The whole thing with me, there is no way that I can go back and change time. The guy that I drove to work that day was briefly in my life in 1985. We cut a demo with the band that had the new singer in it, this guy Mick Stone, in 1985. We had moved on from this guy that was singing in the band, this guy Daryl. And that's it. That's the end of the story.
Exactly.
He moved out of the house. Right. He moved out of the house and was gone. I drove him to work for like 3 months in the beginning of 1985. And then the band changed around and we moved on. And that's it. That's the end of the story. So I know where I was that morning, and I know I'm sounding crazy. But the thing is all through 1985, I told that story a million times. Yeah, I drove Daryl to work, and I came back, and I turned on the TV, and I was making coffee, and I watched the shuttle explode. Well, that wasn't in 1986. So I don't know. I just plain and simply can't explain it. I don't have an explanation for it. That's it. And that's it. That's how it happened. It's not a memory. I shared this.
It is a memory, but it's a very clear memory.
No, I shared this with people. I shared the experience. I repeated it.
Did you talk to the people that you were with at the time that it happened?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, you said you were driving somebody in a car.
No, I was driving him to work every morning, and then I would come home after that. I would have to drive him to work to make sure he got there so he could pay his bills. Otherwise, his slappy ass would have never got up out of bed and went to work. So the only way that could happen is if I drove him to work and pulled him out of bed.
That's a musician.
Yeah. A bass player. Even worse.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
I married one of those.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I can't explain the story away. I remember if I did it on the air, when I went back and looked and saw that was 1986, I was like, there's no way. What do you mean?
I didn't realize it until you had said something about it.
Right.
That it was 1986.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, that's impossible that it was 1986 because I was in California. I remember standing at work in the break room, watching it on TV. I worked at AT&T at the time. And by 86, I was living in Colorado. So
yeah, there's
no way.
Right. And that's exactly my point. There's something going on. I don't know what it is. Wouldn't it just be bizarre that if we could look into the future, like 10 years from now, and the reason for the Mandela effect is revealed, time travelers from the future have been going to the past and altering things, or now that we, we'll find out how to move from dimensions. I keep always saying, from the left or to the right.
I think we jump timelines all the time.
Well, that's what
we don't realize it.
Well, in 10 years from now, we find out how to go to these other dimensions, right? And then we just laugh about it.
Yeah,
so that's what the Mandela
effect
effect.
Without us even trying.
That's what I mean. What if we find out about that, 10 years from now, and then we can just look back and go, and we don't care about 3 different versions of breakfast cereals, or 3 different versions of TV shows, or 3 different versions of anything, and we just laugh about it because it was just that the entire time.
Have you had that guy? I think you have Dr. Goldberg.
Yes.
Is it Goldberg?
Yeah,
he
Bruce.
says you can jump between timelines.
That's
purposely.
Bruce. Yep, that's Bruce's story. He's sticking by it.
Yeah. I don't know about that, but he's sticking to it, right?
Well, he's got a really interesting way of looking at it for sure. It's funny that you brought him up. He called this past Sunday, and I spoke to him, and he was just like, "Dude, I want to come back on the show." So maybe we'll get Bruce on before the end of the year to talk about his method a little bit further.
Yeah, well, he doesn't really explain how, because of course he wants you to buy his books, but it's definitely an interesting premise.
Right. Yeah, I should probably do that, Maria. I should probably get his course. Rita just said, she goes, it's the other way around. It's people are zipping in and out from the other side into here. It could just be. The whole thing is just bizarre. And you could, if you take that angle of it and you go back in time, go back, go way back in time. It's probably been going on forever. And different versions of things have been altered throughout time. Can you imagine trying to explain things by seeing a leprechaun or something coming in and what you think is a leprechaun because you've heard the mythology, the folklore, and it's just some dude, right? Some trickster from another dimension coming in and messing with your world, changing your socks around in the drawer. Hey.
Oh, definitely they do that.
Yeah, that's where the socks have gone. There you go. All right, Maria, I got to wrap up the show. I got Les calling in. I'll talk to you.
Yep, later.
Later. Les, is it you?
It is me. I can't believe I actually made it in.
Well, no, there's look, there's 10 phone calls right here, but only one from your area code. And I just thought about that. I thought, man, that's kind of weird. That's got to be Les.
Yeah. How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm doing good, man. It's Thursday night. It's Fader night. You're here. It's a great night.
Absolutely. But you know what? The whole Mandela thing, I have to agree. Would that not be the coolest thing if in 10 years we actually figured that out?
I know.
And we can actually go to any dimension we wanted to go to?
I'm telling you. And I do not have any doubts that we will figure that out. Not only going left and right, but going forward and backward, right? Or that, of course, the future is visiting us here because they've got it figured out, right? Okay, well, all of that makes sense. But right now in our timeline, we haven't got it quite figured out. But we will. And when we do, we're going to find out how simple it is and how easy it is to do and how easy it is to accidentally cross over. Right? And then that's what's been going on this whole time. So there
I think that's why so many people disappear. They just go to another dimension and don't even realize it.
No doubt.
They're like, whoa, wait a minute. This
no
is something
question.
different.
No question about it. No question. And I would like to step to the right or to the left and go hang out with the alternative version of Rita and I and the family. And just go and hang out. And you could do it because you would be a frequency off. You're not altering anything in your timeline. So what if you could go? Timeline. Yeah, what if you could go and sit down and break bread with yourself?
Unless it's evil Jimmy and evil Rita.
That's what I'm saying. That would be cool. And would the food taste the same? Would coffee, would everything just be a little bit off? So fade to black.
Or everything tastes like chicken or fish instead of chicken.
Right. Fade to black blend I don't like in the other dimension. You know what I mean? Be so cool.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
All right, Les, take us out of here, my brother. Another week down. Take us out.
Another week down. Special thanks to Jon Rappoport and all the first-time callers and FADERNIGHT who phoned home tonight. Fade to Black, the executive producer, is Rita Kamarian. Special thanks to LJ3, that's me, Renee Jonas Mark. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Brother Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Marty Kovar. Faded by Dale. Webmaster is Drew, the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication is KGRA The Planet. And with that, for another week, Jimmy and I are out of
here. Thank you so much, Les. Be safe out there. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
See you Monday, Jimmy. Good night.
LJ3. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2016 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Until Monday, everybody be safe. Go Beckley Teppy.